Greetings! I am Duncanito11, Foundry author and person speaking to you right now. Hopefully, I'm the only person speaking to you right now, because tonight we'll be playing a Foundry mission in what I hope is the first of a series of videos showing off what we've been able to achieve using the Foundry tool for the game Star Trek Online. With it, we can build episodes similar to, but not identical to, what the developers are able to create, and in general, we can have a lot of fun with this. Tonight we'll be playing my latest mission, Entanglement, the third episode of Starfleet Security's Files Season 2, but hopefully we'll be able to get through to some other ones, so this just isn't a exercise in shameless self-promotion. So, for those just joining us, let's go ahead and get started right from the very beginning. I've just opened up the main mission journal, where we have our episodes for the game Star Trek Online, and stuff that's also available to us in terms of dailies, other activities. We want one over. Foundry. There's 3 tabs: Spotlight, Browse All, and Review Content. Review Content is where all the new stuff is, and we'll be getting to that in just a second. Spotlight, missions that have been pinned up for the general audience, which in some way are special. You may have played some of these, but keep in mind, there are thousands of missions, and generally, search tool, it's alright, but it allows you to get through and find some stuff to play. You can also just cruise around the sector block using the top 3 system, stop at a system, star system specifically, and once there, you'll see whatever Foundry missions are available, up to the top 3. If there's more than that, then that list will just keep cycling around. Tonight, we have a new mission. That is in the Review Content tab. Now, we're not going to scroll through this because this only goes down so far. What I'm going to do, I'm going to search for my series tag, SSF, which is actually why I put it in the title of the mission. So, Entanglement, right there, by Gorgonops, that is me. I'm going to go ahead and read off this intro prompt, as well as any dialogue that comes up. I'll also give you a little bit of insight into how I built the mission, and generally what's going on behind the scenes. So, Entanglement begins at Ferengi system, Ferengi sector, Alpha Quadrant, which is actually a pretty big giveaway that it is a Ferengi mission. Oh joy. All that glitters cannot be bought for a reasonable price down at Quark's. Yeah, that was really great. First try. Shall we continue? Let's continue. Really, it can't. What there is instead is a missing Starfleet captain. The response has been muted. Security has fallen silent. It is up to a few dedicated officers to find out what happened to Setsa Jigoro. Travel to Ferengi in this, the 3rd episode of SSF Season 2. Entanglement is a long, story-focused episode with space and ground combat. Previous missions are not required, but Gemini and Echoes are lightly recommended. Let's go ahead and get started. Click the Hail button, and we have our first bit of dialogue. To any ship in range, this is Trading Station 14. We are under attack from unidentified pirates. Please, they are overwhelming our defenses. We would require immediate assistance. Oh, and compensation will be paid on 5%. Proceeds from salvage of hostile vessels, according to the Charter of Interplanetary Trade, Section 5, Paragraph 4. Thank you. Let's go ahead and accept the mission. So now, normally, we would go ahead, browse the sector block, find Ferengi, fly there. But, as chance would have it, I'm already here. So, we're just going to click the Begin button. We are approaching the coordinates of the distress signal. I am unable to raise the trading station. Weapons prime, sir. Begin. So you might notice the loading screens are a little bit long tonight, but there's no helping that. I wish I had something prepared for these times, but tonight you've just got me staring at a screen. No song, no dance. We'll eventually get to something more enjoyable. But tonight we're just going to kill time in this section right now. Counting off the server not responding. Lie at the top of the screen. Everything is fine. Really it is. We're 30 seconds in, but it's still fine. 35 seconds in, it's still fine. And I'm pointing this out because people who aren't familiar with the Foundry might see that and immediately freak out that something wrong has happened. But it's just a little glitch that pops up. Now we've got loading, and we're going to be loading a proto-system. Some distance away from Ferengi, but it is the location where the trading station is being attacked. Our bridge officer says, "Sir, we have arrived in the NGX-050 star system. I'm detecting battle damage on the Ferengi trading station. I recommend we approach it. Red alert." Episode info? "Sir, you're on the bridge. Just take us in." So, we have a location reach marker that we have to fly to initiate combat. And here we go with combat. My mighty scimitar blowing up the pirates as they come in. Flying in through what can only be the first of multiple waves because this is Star Trek Online. Pirate freighters, Ferengi vessels around us, all great stuff. A little bit of background on these pirates. These pirates are actually using reskinned Orion vessels. These will come up a little bit later, not as Orions, but as a new alien faction that I've created for this mission. We have around this a lot of custom scenery. A lot of these asteroids I had to place by hand, except by the groups. And generally this actually took a long time to put together. "No more hostile contact, sir. We should hail the station to verify the status of local personnel." Make it so. And I just want to look up right now, because there is a planetoid that will come up in the ground map. Actually, it won't come up. It'll just be a visual cue. But I also want to point out the fact that it's up there, and there's asteroid trails leading down, and those did take quite a while to actually put together. Most people won't notice, but that's the nature of building art stuff for a video game. Most people won't notice in specific detail, but it helps add to the ambiance. So let's hail the station. Open a channel. "This is the VAX Consortium Auxiliary AI for Station Affairs. I'm afraid all personnel are busy at the moment. Please call again some other time." "Prepare an away team. We'll beam over and check things out." Intrigue. Now we've got a ground mission, we've selected our away team. That should come to no surprise for people who've played this game. If you're just learning what Star Trek Online is through tonight's Foundry mission, then all I have to say is just go play it. It's free to play. It's available for PS4, Xbox One, and PC, although only the PC has access to Foundry missions at this time. Server not responding again. 20 seconds in and everything's still fine. 25 seconds and everything is still fine. 30? Yes, 30 seconds and everything is still fine. We made it through 35 and everything is still fine, despite the server not responding message at the top. And if you don't know what I'm actually talking about, it's that little red message right there. I don't know if that's completely visible in the stream, but you know it's there because I'm talking about it. So, let's load up the trading station interior. Fun interior map, a lot of components, and again, for Star Trek Online, we have a lot of these assets available to just place around. And everything you see, we didn't make any of the textures, any of the geometry. We've just assembled it from the tools that the devs have graciously been adding on their own volunteer time for quite some time. You should send them bacon. So, we just put out a fire. No real purpose to that, but in this mission, I did like to add those little contextual elements. So here we go, station interior. I'm going to look up. There's a blue planet. It's a gas giant. We didn't have that. But it's a nice little visual cue. So, this station, we have a little promenade section. We have a region up there. We're going to go upstairs later. But for now, we just got to find ops to find out what's going on here. Walk in! Ah, Havoc. Are you by chance familiar with Ferengi encryption protocols? By the way, Havoc, character name. Don't get scared or confused if you see something other than Havoc. If you play through this mission, that is just a little name tag that we're able to put into here. So, we respond. No, I'm not. What's going on here? No matter, I found another way in. Here, could you watch the power feed while I reroute something? Who are you, and what are you doing here? The name's Ilium. I'm with Starfleet Security. My primary objective here is to get this into the security office. It went into lockdown when the pirates attacked. Why? It'll be much easier to explain once we're in there. Come on, it's just on the other side of the atrium. Lead the way. Nice little operations section, custom lighting, and let's go ahead and go through. Notice here, on the promenade, we've got these little shops here. Originally I was intending to write optional dialogue for all these guys, but for now we've just got the one. The Gorn Pet Shop. You want cuddly little lizard thing? I have many cuddly lizard things. What? Thrust a lizard into your hands. Look at how it wiggles with joy. Look at the lizard. Fervently attempts to bite you. Stroke the lizard's chin. Bites your finger. I'll take it. Pay 10 slips of gold press latinum. May she bring you many clutches of eggs. Thank you for the warning. You'll notice that we just paid latinum. We didn't actually pay latinum from our in-game currency reserve because we have no ability to modify that in the Foundry. What this is a little optional minigame that you can play along and just keep track of how much latinum you spend. In the reviews, or just you can tell me on Twitter how much you spent, and I will be very interested to know, because it basically tracks with how much optional dialogue you went through. There's a total of 217 latinum you can spend, so see if you can find the whole lot. Another little optional cue on the map, that changes a small bit of scenery, nothing else. Thought it added a little bit more texture and a little bit more sort of feeling to the environments, so we just turned on a light. So, let's go ahead and take a left to the security office. There we are, just one more step, and the security office is lockdown is lifted. I'll leave it in your hands. Smashes the control panel! Was that strictly necessary? Rubs fist. Surprisingly, it was. Ferengi computer systems don't have straightforward workarounds. Let's just go. Ilium, just to give a little backstory on him, is a recurring character through the Starfleet security files. In this mission, he is doing a little bit of solo operations, but generally he's attached to a team. He originally showed up in the mission Polarity, SSF2, as the villain, but has gradually morphed into a protagonist over the course of several. I listed Echoes as a mission that is recommended that you play, because that is the mission where he undergoes a lot of that character change. So, let's go ahead and take a look at what's in the security office. Stay back! Fires. And we're just going to dodge. Setsu, it's us! You're safe. The pirates are gone. Don't come any closer. I don't know who any of you are. Everything feels so faint. I can't remember. Why can't I? Waves the phaser. Just give me some time. I need to think. Ilium, what's wrong with her? I don't know. Moves to the corner. Setsa, can you hear me? If you haven't already guessed, Setsa is this character's name. Yes? What do you feel when you hear my voice? Hugs her knees. I'm not sure. I'm coming over there. You don't need the phaser. Setsa, I'll never hurt you. Turn the corner. Follow Ilium's lead. So let's go check on what this character is doing. This character is a recurring character from the Starfleet security files, dating all the way back to the very first. Again, why I recommended Gemini and the main mission prompt. Don't worry, Setsa. It's just a medical tricorder. I'm only trying to find out what happened to you. Ilium, I think you owe me an explanation. Not here, Havoc. She doesn't need to hear it all right now. Let's get back to the main atrium. I'll tell you everything once we're back on board the ship. Just tell your comm officer to set a course for Ferengi. That's where Starfleet lost contact with her. Ferengi, Ilium, I have to insist you tell me what's going on here. Sigh. She was on an investigation for Starfleet security. That's all I know. Something happened, and now she's like this. We'll need to find out what happened and why the cover-up was necessary. Very well, let's head out. So, right now, it's obvious Setsa's going through a little bit of trouble right now. She can't remember, and this mission is going to be basically finding out what happened. A little optional prompt in the security office here. Notice we have a criminal behind bars locked up. When you inspect the prisoner record, and we will see, he is a custom alien. Name, Tanji Paro. Alias, Tanji 8 Fingers. Species, Ujata. Occupation, various. Status, sleeping. Charges, gross public intoxication. Property damage, less than 50 strips of gold plus platinum. Assault with a deadly weapon, resisting arrest. Convictions, vagrancy, theft, less than 50 strips of gold pressed platinum. Transportation of restricted materials, try cobalt. This guy, in short, is a jerk. A lot of my missions have optional dialogue prompts like that. We won't be going through all of those tonight, but that's just a little taste of all the little texture that I tend to add into these. Some authors don't, some authors do. It's just a choice for the style of mission. But wait, there's someone here. It's the station administrator who was absent from ops earlier. Fleet Admiral Havoc, what are you doing here? I demand an explanation at once. Ilium? Steps over to the controller. You signed for this traveler? I did. Iced Jigoro. Everything seemed to be in order. In order? You had to tell me what my name was, and it wasn't even the right one! What's my name again? Setsu Jigoro. Right, Setsu Jigoro. You faked my records, dumped me in the security office, and made sure I wouldn't go anywhere until my range pickup. I think these people could make a lot of trouble for you if you don't tell them what's going on. We strongly disapprove of trafficking of people. What? I never... Fine, this is my business after all. I just thought I was doing someone a favor. I got a call from someone on Ferengi. No names, no details, just transit beam in time, and note about the next connection. The Latinum came, so did the girl. And that was that, until you came along. Which ship was Jigoro supposed to leave on? A Packwood freighter. If you're looking for who's responsible for this drama, I doubt they could tell you anything besides, we make things go. And the pirates? Pirates are pirates. They may have been after your Setsa, but for what it's worth, they didn't specify her in their usual demand. Let's get out of here. Beam out! Hold on to your arm. Are we going to go through that transport thing? Please, could you just tell me before it starts? We're about to energize. And here we go with the beam out. There's a little bit more to that map, too. If you just say, go forward, take a right, up the stairs. And I totally forgot to go up that way. But if you want to play the mission for yourself, it's a little area to explore. Originally, it was actually part of the main mission, but with dialogue changes, plot changes, it really didn't become necessary, but I didn't feel like just hauling the whole thing out. A little cool space, and yeah, I'll just leave you to explore that on your own. Hopefully I won't be doing that too much tonight. But yeah, it's now a little Easter egg out there. Another thing I like to include in my missions is that little bit of optional dialogue. I mean, you saw that I had a little few prompts there. And the ones marked with an I, those are basically information prompts. I've made sure my mission is basically plays through straight away, no real problems with understanding the basics, but there's a lot of flavor that I'd like to add in these too, and I use those information prompts just to add a little bit more, especially if a player has a very specific question that I don't think needs to be explained in the full, and just the complete, full mission, because otherwise it might, dealing with all those questions, it could really expand the runtime out a little bit. So I let players ask those questions themselves, but if they're fine to move on, they're free to move on. So here we go. We have this alien guy. Steps on the bridge. She's got retrograde dissociative amnesia. Flops on the chair. Crap. I'm going about this the wrong way around. Thanks for helping us, Havoc. I can only imagine how difficult it was to explain course correction change to the Admiralty. It's, not a problem. Can Jigoro recover? I don't know. Setsu's neural processes were badly disrupted. The scarring on her head suggests it was from a Tetrion weapon. We won't know how well her memories will eventually be able to reintegrate until there's more healing. So for now, we have to assume that she won't be able to tell us what happened on Ferengi. Sorry, Ilium. I know this must be difficult for you. Actually, let's not be kind there. Let's just go. So what's the point? Beam down to the planet and rendezvous with our contact. I brought him in as soon as I started looking for Setsu. Couldn't trust official channels to give me a straight answer. He's taking care of the paperwork. We just need to talk to him. Understood. There's a prompt there for people who have actually played through the Starfleet security files and have a special idea on who this guy is. The contact is not who you think it is. Fortunately, it's not Commander Ross. So now, we just went through a little transition without having to do a map change, where we spawned in a bunch of objects for the planetary system. So now, we just have to go to orbit. This Ferengi map is not part of the main game, and I basically, again, just put it together myself using all the available bits. Here, Ferengi security prompt. You are cleared for orbit, RRW Republic. If you would like to reserve a place in our outbound customs checks, you may upgrade to our preferred Platinum service. Let's pay 10 strips of gold-pressed Latinum. Thank you, RRW Republic. Your place has been reserved. Questions can be directed to the Ferengi Commerce Authority's auxiliary help channel. We hope you have a profitable stay on Ferengi. Let's proceed. So, we are in orbit of Ferengi now. We have the option to talk to an alien transport, but for tonight, we are just going to skip that prompt. It's another little bit of conversational dialogue with a few mission bits hidden in there, variously, and in general just adds more texture to the scene in addition to an interesting character. So, we have our bridge officer going through the continue prompt. I have Ilium's landing coordinates. Away team is standing by. Let's energize. There's our away team. We're beaming down now. And I'm not going to comment on the server not responding this time. That joke's been played out. I'm just going to stare at the screen in silence for the next few seconds. We're back. So we've just beamed down to Ferengi. It's raining, it's cold, there's people walking around. So let's just go ahead, I'll talk to this guy, and then we'll just take a quick jaunt around the ground map here. Again, custom ground map. This place does not exist in the main Star Trek Online game. I've built this on one of our exteriors. Here's our contact. Havoc. Are you William's contact? Yes, I'm Commander Intrex. Setsa and I were once part of the same security team. We're old friends. When Ilium informed me of her disappearance, I transferred myself to this operation. I've spoken with local representatives and tracked down possible leads. Shall we step inside? It's very wet out here. Lead the way. Except he can't actually lead the way because we don't have the ability to have characters move from one place to the other in a coordinated way that would really work for that. I mean, there's ways to improvise, but generally we don't really have the ability to stage actions in a very specific way. We can basically just go from one position to another position. So, you'll see a little bit of that tonight. And if you're a Foundry author or played Foundry missions, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So here, shops. There, the Tower of Uncertain Progress on Ferengi, something I completely made up. There, we have Ferengi. So let's just jump over here, and I'm just going to have my bridge officers go sit over here. No comment on this map, just talking. Talking, learning, finding stuff out. But let's just stand here for a second in the open air trading center. One very overworked processor with all these guys. That's kind of the general tone for this scenery of the mission, although the mission itself might be a little bit more serious, but in general I like to keep a lot of these jokes going. So we have a Starfleet embassy, we have the bar, we have a little kiosk, optional dialogue. We have the city in the background, we have flying vehicles right up above, a little texture file that we can plug down, stairs leading down to this entrance. This one is not functional, but eventually we'll be going, quote, up into the tower. So, it's raining, it's wet, let's go ahead and get inside. Into this bar, by the embassy. And now we're in the bar, and then we get a prompt. Someone approaches Jigoro. Hey baby, I haven't seen you in here before. I love the ears. And we have three options. We can let Jigoro handle it, ignore the idiot, and just proceed with the mission, or try to bribe him. Let's not try to bribe him, because if you're going for the gold price Latinum, quote, achievement, you'll probably do that. So let's let Jigoro handle it. Her eyes glaze. I like ears too. Do you? How about we leave this place for a little seclusion? Begins to twitch. I like collecting them. I have a jar back on the ship. There are 9 ears in it. 9. For those who know Jigoro, this is completely out of character, which is kind of the point. Collecting? Hey, I don't want to be part of any of this crazy. Forget I said anything. Walks away in a huff. Turn to Jigoro, very suspiciously. Looks to the group. What's wrong? I had to improvise. Is there any special significance in what I just said? I won't say it again. I'm simply taking notes, Jigoro. Well done. So we got rid of the idiot, with Jigoro improvising, who has amnesia, who has absolutely no idea what's going on. So that was actually a bit cruel, but it allowed for a cheap joke. So now let's talk to the group. They're in here, and we'll take a walk through the bar in just a second. So let's go through the mission dialogue. Setsa, how are you feeling? I'm okay. There's just a lot of things I don't know. How to do things comes easily enough, but I can't remember anything about my life. I wish I could tell you what I was doing here, but I don't even really know who I am. So where do we begin our investigation? Starfleet won't tell us much about Setsa's assignment, but there's a limited number of possibilities. Corruption, fraud, corporate espionage, all these would fall into the remit of Ferengi security. A Starfleet security captain, which Jigoro was, would only be here if there were broader implications and another power involved. Such as the Loban. Their dispute with Ferengi over Lobi mining rights in their home system is growing to become a critical point of Ferengi politics. It's an example of the old way of doing business. As a result, the dispute is becoming powerful fulcrum. If someone pushes, they could tip the Ferengi society and upend the sector. The dispute is about Lobi? Yes, it is. Some time ago, the Loban contracted the Ferengi to establish a mining operation. Even though the crystals were effectively worthless, it helped the Loban build a small export market. The recent activities of the Lobi Crystal Consortium have increased the value of Lobi by several orders of magnitude. The Ferengi are now exploiting causes in their mining contract to expand their operations and minimize the Loban share of the output. The Loban see it as a broad Ferengi conspiracy. The Ferengi involved see it as a powerful business opportunity. Others see it as cruel exploitation, hence the negotiation. So, we look into the dispute and see where Jigoro's investigation may have led. Precisely, the best place to start would be the Tower of Uncertain Progress. It's playing host to the Loban negotiations. Neither Starfleet or Republic are invited, so we'll have to ask the other attending parties for an invitation. Once inside, we'll dig through what records we can find and ask what questions seem necessary. Why don't they include Starfleet or the Republic in the talks? That, I'm not sure. The concession to it was a concession to Loban. They said they had enough of Starfleet and viewed the Republic as one of their lackeys. There's nothing on record that would suggest why the Loban feel this way. There's barely been any contact. Still, you never know how you might play to a distant audience. I also had to work immediately. While you make inquiries, Ilium and I will take it in turn to brief the Admiralty. Their hands are tied, but, as a colleague once said, it's always best to appease the boss. Understood. A little bit of backstory on that particular line in particular. The colleague in question is, actually, it's Graves from Starfleet Security Files. That line doesn't appear, but I tried to invoke a little bit of his personality in that response. He died in Starfleet Security Episode 4 of Season 1 as the big climax. And, just a little spoiler, I am not ever going to bring him back. Not any particular reason I thought the character was bad or wrong, but right now that's just a big emotional point. Put Jigoro in a really interesting emotional direction, and in generally, really, I think, improved the overall tone of the Starfleet Security Files. It was a tough mission to go through. I mean, Episode 4, especially to write, but in general, I think we're sort of on a little bit better footing now than the direction the series was headed with Entropy, which had me basically trying to one-up myself in Gemini and kind of steering things in a little bit of an odd direction. So, right now, we have the bar. We have a bunch of people over there, engineering crew, who are trying to fix a replicator. Occasionally, they just shout, "Quick, before it starts sprouting prune juice again," which is a joke. These guys make Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy reference, and there is Drinks Master Zero. Zeronomus Rex is one of the devs who does a lot of work to support the Foundry. She puts in these interesting characters, and right now I want to try to get Zero in as many missions as possible. A little bit of a thank you, but also it actually does serve as an interesting sort of recurring character, a little inside joke into the Foundry. Well, not joke, but just more or less a reference. So, in general, we have this bar, we have a Dabo table, which you can go ahead and try to spin. Try is the operative word there. And there we go. This is that custom environment. I built it using a lot of different pieces. The walls, for example, are actually various layers, and I really tried to go for Quark's bar in this little area. So we got the Dabo, we got a few monitors, and we got a lot of attending species. So let's just go ahead and move on, because right now we got to go speak with some people outside. Notice how it's not raining. It's also not raining right now, because I didn't really have that fine control over where rain appears. It's just an overall weather effect, so you'll notice it kind of comes and goes on this map, depending on where you are, just to avoid the appearance of it raining inside. So let's talk to the first guy. So this is our Ferengi representative. He waves us off. Your time is cheap, mine isn't. We seek an invitation to the diplomatic reception. I'm in a position to authorize that. 1 million bars gold pressed latinum. Can we negotiate? Waves you away. Leave. No luck with the Ferengi representative. Let's try to find a way in to investigate the Loban over here. Now, who are these guys? He's called the Loban representative. Could he be representing the Loban? Yes, he is. He's a custom alien species that I've created for this mission, using bits from the alien tailor. Turns. Why do you disturb me? I represent the Romulan Republic. Yes. I seek an invitation to tonight's reception. I am a Loban Lord. I do not have time for this. I do not have time for you. Stop bothering me, you degenerate peasant. Turn. Walk away. We're not going to dignify that with a response. And now it's raining. Walk by the open air training center. Past this little nice art detail. And she actually talks to some optional dialogue here. Hey Trex, what's happening in this structure? It's a store. A place to make economic transactions? She doesn't remember. Yes? They have clothes in there. Is this really the time? I've been wearing this for as long as I can remember it, Trex. I don't know whose taste these represent, but it certainly isn't mine. So, very well. Filling in returns before you finish, I'll let him know you're here. You're not coming in with me? It's not my area. It's not my area of expertise, Setsa. You still know more than I do. Come on, I promise I won't take long. A few minutes passes. Shouts can be heard inside. The bear returns. I can't believe that place! Pinches the bridge of his nose. I'm doing that right now, just to let you know. You smashed the scanner over the holographic attendant's head! I don't know what was happening, Itrex. I tried to ask, but they just kept rushing me. And enough, it's over. Let's just wait here until Alien gets back. Thanks for going in with me. It was an experience. Slumps against the glass. I didn't think it was going to be this hard. I knew there were pieces missing from the moment I woke up. I thought, hey you, it's blank right now. But you'll be able to put everything back together. No worries, you've just got to get back up. And here I am, sitting in a puddle. And I can't even figure out how to clothe myself. Considers. Just a moment, Setsa. Heads back inside the store. Returns with a small bag. Here, try this. I know it'll fit. Pulls it tight. Is this a hat? I know this is a hat. It's a hat! Yep, you've got it. Piece by piece, we'll see things put right. Walk away, little character scene. I do like writing those and putting them in the mission, and it's kind of, I would say it's probably besides building big maps like this, it's kind of my little hallmark for what I like to do with these. So, if you kind of see that going on, it might be my mission. My name attached to the mission is going to be a better indicator, but if you really don't like reading that sort of thing, then yeah, kind of look for that dialogue. Betazord Ambassador. Well, if it isn't Itrex, dear friend, how long has it been? You look the same. Hello, Madam Ambassador. To my dear Mr. Itrex, it's with Thithia, and you know it. Sorry about that. So what brings you to this armpit of a world? Okay, we're good. We're getting back on track here. We require invitations to the Loban Ferengi diplomatic reception. It's critical for an ongoing investigation. Is that all? You have them. The Betazoid delegation would be honored to have your presence, and I would love to have your pleasure of your company once again, Mr. Itrex. Yes, with Ithia, if time permits. I'll make sure there's time, Ambassador. So after that horribly uncomfortable scene with me reading that, We find out that Itrex has a little bit of a history with a Betazoid ambassador. Could the silent guy that kind of looks like Mr. Hong actually have served in that role before? Yes, he did. So let's just go ahead and meet Ilium over at the Federation Embassy. And let that scene have some optional dialogue time later. We'll get to that. But there's more than just Ilium here. Admiral Byrd. Fleet Admiral Havoc, it's an honor to have you here. You're, Admiral Reed says, you're investigating Officer Jagoro's condition, yes? That I am. This situation is delicate in the extreme. I'm afraid we cannot allow... Interrupted. The Fleet Admiral can be trusted to avoid inflaming tensions between the Ferengi and their guests. A Starfleet captain has been assaulted, and we must make sure we use every opportunity to investigate the attack. Have Itrix and Ilium been following your orders? No, it's their initiative that brought you here. The official investigation is being conducted by the Ferengi lines. That I don't appreciate. Continue along a separate line. Find out what has happened to Captain Jagoro. Thank you. Good day, Fleet Admiral. Brushes you aside. Good day, Admiral. Well, I see we find a way in. After being in a room with those two, I could use a drink. I'm ready. Let's go. And let's specifically go to the Tower of Uncertain Progress reception for the Loban and the Ferengi to continue our little investigation here. So that map is actually one of the first I made for this mission. It is probably one of the longest in gestation, because I did go ahead and make a couple other missions between starting that one up and finishing it, because in working with this episode, I had a lot of different ideas starting off, and not a whole lot of them carried through. Originally, it was going to be Setsa's people negotiating with the Ferengi, but that plot kind of gave way to something else. I was like, yeah, a bit more generalized a bit. That's when the Loban really became involved. The Loban and the Ujata. More of a sort of grassroots uprising against the Ferengi due to their business interests. But then once I kind of came up with that Setsa subplot of her losing her memories, I made that much more central. And that allowed me to actually develop a few fulcrums to develop the rest of the plot around, which we'll see. So now we have an interior map that I've also created by myself using various building blocks. Let's go ahead and talk to this guy right here. The Ferengi attendant. Name? Don't you know who I am? No. Would 12 slips trigger your memory? Money can do that? Can I try some? I'm sorry, it's just a figure of speech. Takes the money. No, it wouldn't. Now, just tell me who you're with, or else I'll have to call security. We're here with Ambassador with Thea. Figures, wave you on. Go right in. The reception's down the hall and to your left. Let's go ahead and tip 2 straps of platinum. More optional dialogue. Shall we play it? Let's play it. It's fine. I'm sure no one's going to recognize you. Listen. It's a hat, Ilium. I like the hat, but it's a hat. It's not going to do anything to disguise me. You'd be surprised. That's a Gemini reference. Look, do we have anything else we can try? Well, I do have this hollow emitter. Won't fool a scanner, but at this stage, I don't think that's a problem. Fiddles for a moment. There, what do you think? I'm not thrilled with this setting. Plus, it doesn't do anything for the voice. Can we try another? Setsa, I'm not sure this method will really... I feel a little disoriented. Tips over. Next? I thought that one rather suited you. I need to be able to see where my real hands are. How about this one? I don't know if it's appropriate, but I'm covered up pretty well. Next. Hey, this one isn't bad. If I avoid talking, this should work out all right. What do you guys think? That's Commander Ross. Character from SSF. People don't like him. Looks to Ilium in one voice. No! He was their former boss. Fine, I'll wear the hat. If people start shooting at me, the two of you had better... better. Setsa? It's nothing, really, I'm fine. I think I just glanced by a memory, that's all. Let's get moving. Specifically, the memory she just glanced by was a little bit of Graves dying. She really doesn't remember who she was at this point, anything about her, but she is getting glimpses at this point of the character she was. So, That stuff is going to continue popping up a little bit in the mission in her backstory, but nothing that directly needs to be referenced here. Kind of get the point. So let's go ahead and see this little fountain here. Nice little lights, nice little lighting effects. Lights on the ceiling, custom lighting. Let's go ahead and toss in 1 gold price platinum. Yay, we spent it. We can add 1 to the tally. More custom lighting, Ferengi soldier, not soldiers, but security officers. Let's go into the reception. I'm going to keep the bridge go around. So, lots of people, and you notice, I haven't moved that guy yet. Okay, so, because it's a stream, and this is being recorded, I want to shame myself in saying this guy is kind of not in the right place. I'll be moving him in an update, so if you play the mission soon, you might see him, say, standing right here, but for now, he's in the wrong place. There's optional dialogue there, but we've kind of got a good taste of that, so we're just going to be moving on. Oh, we're going to come back to this when we exit the room. But here, the low button representative, we need to find out more information, so he's someone that we're just going to listen to. There's 2 options here. We can either directly confront the bastard, or just go ahead and listen in. What should we do? Let's just go ahead and listen. The Ferengi. After everything that's happened here, they still expect us to share a drink and pretend this world is still a civil place. It's a piece of the rot, Lord Gagalath. They no longer have the capacity to recognize when something has truly gone wrong. Indeed. What's a Ferengi know of failure? It's a write-off, something to immediately discard in the pursuit of the same stupid glory. And what of Starfleet? What of them? They made their interest clear. This is our dispute, our battle. There's only one thing of theirs we need to concern ourselves with, and that's been properly stored away. My lord, it may not have been. What? She may not have been in the rendezvous. My officers have been unable to identify why, but the most likely explanation is that our next lever was intercepted. Has Rita contacted us? Bah, never mind. They had every opportunity before. But the call out to the fleet, we must have Jagoro. Intrigue. And Latinum. Actually, the Latinum is not important. The intrigue is. So, on the balcony, we have Setsa and Ilium having a little bit of a moment there. We won't go through that one, because I'm probably not going to be able to read that. No, let's go through it. So, while others dig, we enjoy a quiet drink by ourselves. Waggles a finger. I see how you operate, Mr. Ilium. What an honest dignitary winch moves about when there's work to be done. We have to play the part sets, huh? Dignitaries. It's a large hall. It was dark. I can see space through the glass. Then, I don't know. Ilium, I've been getting a few glimpses up here. Everything feels so numb now, but in 1 or 2 flashbacks, I think I was crying. Your people's trade conferences were never happy times for you, Setsa. Deflecting the question. Do I want to know what happened? It's part of who you are. Still, those memories will be difficult to process once they return to you in full. There must be a lot of pain buried down there. If I scratch the surface, I fear I'm going to start bleeding again. Ilium, what kind of person was I? Thanks for a moment. I haven't told you about Vudan, have I? Vudan! Ilium, there's a lot to deal with right now. If there's a child in the middle of this... What? No. Vudan is your pet Tribble. Pet? Just a pet? That's all we have? Yep, just a pet. Places its arms around Setsa. When the galaxy treats triples as mindless pets, you built a holographic activity center for Vudan. You saved and assembled for months. People told you it was a wasted exercise, but you kept at it. Now, Vudan is quite likely the best exercise tribble there has ever been. Ilium, it sounds like I was a crazy shut-in who found satisfaction in making an animal jump through hoops. Damn it! I didn't mean for it to sound like that. You had this view on life that couldn't be. Smiles, I know just what you're trying to say. And they have a kiss. Walks up from behind. Are the 3 of you finished? 3? Oh, damn it, Fleet Admiral Havoc. Run away. We got into trouble. I sound like no. No. Wrong. Betazord and Bastra, let's talk to these guys. And let's just keep moving once we're done through this, because right now my voice is getting a little tired. Oh, Atrax, don't be like that. I've got to do the voice now, don't I? Oh, Atrax, don't be like that. It's like how you were. You're different now, more yourself. Come on, I'm just happy to see you. My apologies, Ambassador. Share a bed with someone and they're liable to slap you in the slap you for a comment. Typo. Slap you for a comment like that, Mr. Atrax. With yeah, it's been a difficult time for me. I can feel it. She's a betazoid. You went to Starfleet Academy with such vigor. Has security been... No, this isn't the time. I haven't taken another helper, you know. Why? Because you showed me it wasn't what I needed. Remember the party on Trill? You kicked the director off a balcony. It was only a foot off the lawn. Give me some credit. That morning you told me you wanted to do something else with your life. I was busy preparing and said something stupid. You left for the day, and I had to attend the party without you, Mr. Atrax. I felt liberation, to not have to worry about fitting a role. I understood what going to Starfleet would mean to you then. Then you signed for my service release. You'd help with the travel arrangements. I know you could leave on your own request. I had to put that in there because this is the Federation and we don't have slavery or indentured servitude. I just didn't want you to have to leave in spite of me. You really haven't taken another helper? My niece comes by on occasion. Otherwise, I keep my own household. You should hear the chalice talk. That doesn't mean I can't entertain company, Mr. Atrax. I can swing by. Doesn't Madame Belly still come by for drinks on Wednesdays? Oh, my dear Atrax, give me a date and I'll have every one of those society ladies slosh for your arrival. And we walk away. Shout from behind. This is mission dialogue now. You are intolerable, Ferengi. I bring the honor of my presence, and what do I get in return? It is an insult of a compromise. The Loban will not accept any further mining activities on our home system. This is non-negotiable. There's the export revenue? What else do the Loban have besides Lobi? Lord Gaklath, stow the ego and think for a moment. We can all profit here if we simply consider the facts of the situation. If you are so eager to see my people bleed, we will gladly bring the full force of our displeasure to your system. Watch your tone, Ferengi, and I may just accept the word that words can truly compensate for injustice. Things are not going well on Ferenginar, but here we are walking away from that situation and over to the security office because we are on a separate investigation. We are not seeing that coming at all. Let's go inside. Another interactive map element, and we're in the security office. We're breaking in here, and there's someone here. It's a Ferengi analyst. Let's talk to him.
Hey, are you with maintenance or something?
Why do you ask?
I've been waiting for someone to lock up. Boss hasn't given me the access codes yet. You will not believe how far ahead I am on my profit optimizations.
So you'll be on your way?
Yeah, I've just got to log off here. You can never be too careful when it comes to security. We get all sorts of comm traffic through here. It would be really bad if someone got in here and broke into our relay network. Well, have a good night.
Take care. A little bit of comedy. I hear you're not laughing at that one. Oh well. Let's go through mission. Let's access this system information. Security archive. Authorization. Accepted. Route Alliance. Query not found. Query. There should be something there. Okay, never mind. I forgot to put that in. Welcome to me reading my dialogue for the first time. We've put in a query, found nothing. Put in a second query. This one should be about the Loban. There should be a bit of dialogue right there, but it's not. I'll be writing that once I'm done this. Crap. Oh well. Query, one match found. -5 days. Transmission log, Loban. Tag, security level 2. Action, pending review. Starfleet Admiralty. View file? We have just found something. Pending review? for the Starfleet Admiralty. That the Loban sent. Something that's security level 2. What could this be? Access denied. Please consult Starfleet Admiralty. Query transmission route and storage buffers. We just got shut down. Transmission relayed through Ferengi auxiliary network. Remote connection to the buffer system failed. Recommendation: on-site access. Leave terminal. We've got to go find that file, as it likely is incriminating. But here, she said someone would turn up. Find what you are looking for, Mr. Havoc? No, I can't say you did. What a pity. Does Lord Gakalath know you're here? Obviously. Now stand over here, away from the computer terminals. We wouldn't want those to get damaged, would we? By what? By your death. Level 9 should be sufficient for that shield. I'm so glad you came, Havoc. Letting Jokoro go like that was so unsatisfying. Away team, you know what to do. Combat! Go, my horses, go! Reinforcements! Return, my pretties. I said return! There we go. Now, Charlie, you next. Oh, thanks, Ilium. Well, dang it all! Security isn't going to be happy about this, but what we need to do right now is find out an open copy of the message locked here. Why not just ask the admirals? Because if they're involved, we can't trust the answers they'll give. We need to find independent information. Where should we look? The relay satellites. If we can tap into the communication, we can still tap into the communication buffers on site. We should get back into orbit and scan the network until we find our message. Let's go! Ready to beam the away team on your signal. Energize. We left someone behind! So that was actually the last map I finished for this mission. In general, kind of build in a radial style. One exception, Epoch, but generally I'll just sort of take things as I feel interested in building them. I'll build them out, move on to something else, move on to something else. So it's really hard to describe the process overall in building this type of Foundry mission. Some people do a much more regimented style. They'll do one thing first and then go do another thing. Well, specifically, they'll write first, then they'll build, or they'll build, then they write first. Me, I just really kind of treat it more as a undisciplined hobby. So now let's go back into space. Space! I've got the first satellite. Plotting a waypoint now. Any word on the Ferengi? From the Ferengi. No, comms are quiet. We'll let you know when they respond to the incident at the tower. Very well, set a course. Relay station! Scan the relay. Relay station scanned. Let's go to the next one. Obviously did not have what we came for. Let's talk to the Ferengi cruiser here. There's no response. Mysterious, the Ferengi are silent. It's like something's going on the planet. Let's scan the relay station again. There's a Loban captain hailing us. Halt by Gagla's order. Move your ship away from the Ferengi orbit. Or Ferengi orbit. Should be Ferengi orbit, but again, this is me reading the dialogue for the first time. Or you will be destroyed. I'd like to hear the Ferengi's opinion on this matter. The parasites no longer have a voice here. Gestures to his right. Load the torpedoes. Fire at will. Battle stations. Let us have thrilling space combat. And there I go. I just cloaked for no reason. Pro tip in Star Trek Online. Do not cloak in the middle of combat like that when you're trying to shoot space pirates. Because you will take a little bit of hull damage like I just did. Now, that satellite didn't have what we wanted either, so let's go find that third relay, which is labeled Final Relay, just to let you know you're not going to be spending all night scanning stations. So we arrived. There's pirates, and there's Ferengi, and there's lots of battle going on. And I'm stuck behind the station. I'm going to boost forward. Fire, 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 fire. And you noticed, unlike most players, I'm using cannons and torpedoes. I'm doing this because I want to have fun. Fire! It blew up. But no, there's reinforcements! And a little note with these reinforcements, as you blow these guys up, more ships will appear. These guys are just going to be providing a little bit more spice to the combat, because otherwise this could actually end really quickly, because these are actually all pretty low level. The lowbound in general, employ more ships, but lighter ships, just to have a little bit different feel for combat than you might have with other factions. We don't have a lot of options when setting up space groups like this. We just have cruiser, battleship, fighter, and frigate, so we got to be a little creative in just trying to find ways to spicing up combat. You can do that by structuring the waves, adding more or less reinforcements. And a note for this battle, right now I'm cruising through pretty easily, but if you happen to blow up, the respawn point has a trigger associated with it, which will actually spawn in more reinforcements. So, no easy button that you have to press to say, hey, I need help. If you need help, as in you exploded, you will automatically get that now. And someone told me that on Twitter as a useful strategy, and I completely blanked on the name. I think it may have been Captain Revo, but it might have also been Bazak. So, thanks to people in the Foundry community for generally being awesome. And there in this distance is 2 Ferengi stations that are not properly loaded because they don't like draw distance. So let's go ahead and scan that final relay. There, I found the communications buffer, or our communications buffer. We should beam over to the satellite and secure the intel. Away team, transporter room 1. There's Ferengi, there's Loban who've just attacked, but Ferengi, apart from sending a few ships which were communications jammed, don't seem to be too involved here. What could be going on? Server not responding. Incidentally, this is the second to last map in the big climax. This mission, this particular map did come together relatively quickly. It's kind of a big scale one. And I guess there's only sort of one little area that sort of shifted as I sort of went ahead and built it. As I changed the plots of the mission around, this sort of stuck. So this scene. So it basically came down to the specific details of the backstory behind it. So let's see what's going on. Let's see how everything comes together. And look, we're in a box. This is the relay satellite. So again, big climactic map. Well, let's not look at the mini map right now because that might give something away. Let's just talk to Helium here. Everyone's here. It'll just be a moment. I'm pulling up our message up now. It's unlocked and intact. Ship-to-ship transmission. The signature looks Loban. Let's take your time.
Gakalath here. Hold on to Captain Jigoro. Admiral Reed will make transport arrangements. Trust Section 31 to plan for every contingency. The Ibi will give us leverage over her people. After we use their biogenic weapon, we will need to bargain for more. Reed's only interest is rebalancing the sector to better suit Federation development. Afterwards, I'm sure she'll become a problem. Plan for every contingency. Gakalath out!
That's a lot to take in, because right now we just got revealed that Reed is a Section 31 operative, or possibly a Section 31 operative, and the Ibi have developed a biogenic weapon. Ibi are Captain Jigoro's people from my first Starfleet security mission. That's a lot to take in. And it's a lot of just sudden twists. How dramatic. No! The Loban have an Ibi weapon! My people, they're part of this! They're helping Section 31 undermine other species close to the Federation. Oh, son, the reason I'm alive is because the Loban thought they could use me to negotiate for more weapons! We should contact the Republic Command. Long-range communications are down. Havoc, this is not good. What about short-range? Try the auxiliary channel and should be clear. I'll be finished with the data extraction shortly. I won't let any of these untranslated, he said a naughty word, slip through the cracks. So let's go ahead and open a channel. See what's going on. Ferengi security. All ships are ordered to help the evacuation of Greco City. USS Valiant has gone down and Loban soldiers are in possession of a biogenic weapon. Gakalath is with them. Repeat, all ships are ordered to... Hail Admiral Byrd. Fleet Admiral Havoc, I've been ordered to... I've ordered the RRW Republic to assist in the evacuation. We can't do much in the time left, but we can at least do something. Indeed, I'm beaming down there. Havoc, with everything going on... Dang it. Big climactic moment, and there we go. I'm learning a lot of what I need to fix now. Going on down there, they won't be able to maintain a lock on you. They won't be able to beam you back. There's only one outcome I'll accept. We'll stop the Loban. Understood. Havoc, give them hell. Away team, prepare to energize. We are going to kick some butt. Butt kicking time! Transition. Loaded out that part, and now we're in the main map. There's a crash ship down the way, we've got Loban soldiers right here, and we're going to go shoot things. Optional dialogue over there, but let's not worry about it. Shoot, 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 shoot! Attack! Oh no! That little thing just exploded! Oh, dead. Run, 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 run. We reached the security line. Up ahead. Loban troops! Bomb! Get moving now! What? Stop the biogenic weapon! On it! But first I'm going to put out this fire. I'm going to put out this other fire. Oh. There's lots of fire now. Moving on. Time to shoot. Shoot! Lots of Loban! And some Mujata! And another species, which is still in here. Gives the impression that this is actually a larger group. Political entity, the Loban. Reinforcements! More Loban! But anyway, Loban, kind of more of a feudal society. So they've got their main species, but a bunch of others they conquered. So a little bit like the Sona from Star Trek Insurrection. They've got their little thing, and they've got a problem. It's kind of sympathetic, but they're definitely not handling it in a constructive way. So we've got their ships, we got their thing, and we've got a crashed USS Valiant, and now we've got a biogenic weapon that's priming and ready to fire. So we're going to run across this little area right here, across the bridge, and find Gakalath. Take another step and I'll detonate the weapon. I'm just going to move this over here so you can see what's going on. Take another step and I'll detonate the weapon. Kill me, it detonates. The cascade is primed. Just leave now. Give up, Gakalath. I will do what's necessary to burn the Loban's name into the fabric of the galaxy. Now stand aside. I am in control here. It doesn't appear so. I hold the pieces. I am the master. I am Lord Gakalath. You and these Ferengi creatures are nothing. I will trigger the weapon if you do not do what I say. Look behind you. It's Jigoro. What did Gakalath... Oh, what? Did Lord Gakalath forget about me? So focused on being the man in charge that he couldn't see the little Libby slip behind. Takes him down hard. Watch the neck. A little bit of Foundry stage magic there. We can't actually have someone get thrown about, so we just have to go from point A to point B. And use dialogue. A little bit like JRPGs, a little bit from the 3D era. Before they got voices in Final Fantasy X and got a little bit annoying. So, Jigoro, optional dialogue. Did I do good, Havoc? Very well done, Jigoro. A little cute moment there. Now, let's just go ahead and fuse the computer core. Turned it off. There would have been more of an explosion there, but I actually ran out of assets for this map, so I literally cannot put anything more down. At all. So Ilium is here, he's celebrating. Rubs Jigoro's head. Nicely done. When we get back, you'll have to show me how what you did there. Oh, Havoc, the Admirals are on board the Republic. They're waiting for you. Including Admiral Reet? Yeah, she's on board too. Be careful. We don't have all the facts here. Gakalath said Reet was his contact, but we don't have enough evidence to confront her or Starfleet. Let's just get through today and we'll worry about what to do next tomorrow. Ilium, Starfleet has a lot to answer for. It does, but I just want to make one point to you. Look up there. That's the smoking hull of the USS Valiant. It went down trying to protect the city. Reet's a monster, and I make no apologies for her, or anyone else involved in Section 31. But the Federation they're fighting for isn't the same one we are. They're exploiting us. I hope you recognize that. We'll see, because I'm Republic and I'm somewhat distrustful of the Federation at this point. We are locked onto the landing party, sir. Ready to energize on your order. Bring us home. And let's go through the resolution to end this Foundry mission. Hope you've enjoyed it so far. Again, it's my first one, and hopefully we'll be moving on and doing a few others. I can provide inside commentary on mine, and I'll hopefully be moving on to some other people's Foundry missions as well, broaden the horizons, and really get as much of this stuff out there as possible. A few other people do Foundry live streams, or just in general playthroughs. I know Yurzel does them, Timberwolf, and Zeronomus Rex does on her Power Hour. So check those people out, and yeah, just in general, enjoy the content as much as you can, because a lot of people put this stuff together, a lot of people put a lot of time into it, and in general, you get a lot more flavor to these missions than you sometimes find in the really polished developer stuff. Developers, they have to sell their game based on this content. People just making missions really have a lot of creative flexibility. So, in general, just enjoy the stuff, search for it, wander around the sector block for it, and just, yeah, have a good time, support authors, and yeah, just generally have a good time here. So, more optional dialogue. Let's get past that one, because we're almost done. And I just rubber banded. That's lag for you. And look at all the people celebrating. Admiral Byrd, the hero returns, Havoc. This is one for the books. You did a hell of a job down there. Admiral, I wasn't expecting this. Pull a few hundred people from their homes and work, and then tell them everything's going to be alright after all, and you're bound to see some gratitude. Take note, not of it. It's note of it. Stupid me. Havoc, you really went above and beyond today. Thank you. Admiral Reet, we are distrustful of her at this point. We expect a full report in the morning, Havoc. These events must be fully accounted for. We'll get to the bottom of this, I promise. And there we go. And hey, we're going to go back out in the hallway. I originally was going to have a little bit of like, talk to people, see how things are going, but at this point I just kind of wanted to move on. I mean, that dialogue could have just helped to resolve a few ones, but you kind of assume that, because we have, with Ithia here, we have some stock NPCs, and we have some other NPCs that you saw through the mission. So a couple of optional dialogue contacts. We have that Ferengi executive, we have Lieutenant Haddon, we have Lieutenant Sonoya, optional dialogue throughout the mission, and also a little cameo from Fleetmate, Marauder Kazago. He showed up a couple places too. So, that's that. That's the scene. And this map in general, just to let you guys know, it is not one I built. Foundry authors will recognize it as one of the stock interiors. I did not need to make a ship for this one, because, this served just as well, and it helped me finish the project a little bit earlier. Generally, I like to build custom interiors out, but this time I was like, you know what, I just want to move on, because I do have a few missions I need to do. So, Ilium comes over, slaps us on the back. Hero, I think they need to make that your official title. Come on, the others are in Sec Bay. Jagoro is just getting a final checkup before we head out. Where are you guys going? Ifar, the Ibi homeworld. Under the cover of Setzer Discovery, we'll be poking around, seeing what we can find. With Gakalath in custody, Ferengi will be safe. We just have to start looking at other links down the hall. Hold on. What's wrong? Ilium! Jagoro runs over, grabs Ilium, grabs a hold of Ilium, forces her head against his chest. I'm... Breaks down. Jagoro, are you alright? Catches up. Setzer, it's not... We may still have options. Atrix, what's going on? My synapses, the memories are reintegrating, but this degeneration, it's progressing. I'm dying! Atrix, is there anything we can do? I don't know. The therapy for autonomic degeneration is the same as broad neural disruption. Your doctor applied it before Setzer left the ship, but it's had no effect. So find her alternative. Setzer, look at me. Look at me. I need to see you. You need to see me. Atrix, is the degeneration cascading along the sheath cells? It is. I can't say exactly how long she has, but nothing. The Federation won't be able to fix this. They haven't researched quantum neurology. Setsa, I know who can fix this. Who? My people, the Conclave. Setsa, I have to go. I have to go now, or else, damn it, I won't say it. I promise. I'll be back in time. I promise you won't die. Ilium, what about the investigation? I have to do this, Havoc. I know it's at stake, but there's no other way. There's people on FR who I know we can trust. They won't let anything happen, regardless if I'm there or not. Please, I don't want to have to fight in order. You know which way I'll decide. I understand. I don't want this to be our goodbye, Ilium. Itrix will be in... We'll keep the process in check until I get back. I'm not saying goodbye, Setsa. When I see you again, everything will be alright. Please, just come back. Warp speed, Ilium. There we go. That's the end of the mission. There's something down there, but we'll check that out in just a second, just to give you a brief intro into that little side of my sort of resolution to these missions. But SSF 2.3 is done. Right now, what's left for the rest of the season is SSF 2.4, the 4th episode, Refraction, where we go back to the Ibi homeworld, IFR. We find out what's going on with Section 31. We find out what's going on with the Ibi. And we also get involved in other intrigue. I'll tease a little bit of that. It involves Gorn rebels again, and the Zindi. So there's a little bit of new plot development there, a little bit of a new angle. So in addition to resolving this, we'll be moving forward the universe a little bit too, with some other dynamics. Ilium does come back. It's a little bit of a spoiler, but that's not going to be a spoiler for long in that mission. But, you know, he's not coming back the same from the Conclave. The Conclave, for his people, they showed up first in Polarity, and again in Echoes, and he's a little changed. So there's going to be a little character development there. Setsa is still dying. I'm really actually serious about that one. So she'll be going through that arc and dealing with that situation, and we'll see if there's a happy ending to this. I'm not going to say if there is or not, because that would be a massive spoiler. But yeah, definitely stay tuned for what might be the grand finale of the Starfleet Security Files, but there's possibility that I could also make a Season 3, depending on basically what I'm going to be doing after I finish these guys up. So, to finish everything up, well, they're having their moment there. Let's go ahead and see this strange console. Let's interact with it. And it's my emergency author hologram. I won't go through this, but just to let you guys know, at the end of my missions, I generally put these guys here, these strange consoles, which will answer more questions about the mission. I've been talking about the mission at length, so you don't need to know anything else about it at this point, but here's a bunch of stuff that might relate. So, more questions, more stuff, so... yeah, that's the first live stream I've done here. So, in general, I'll try to keep up with these a little bit. I'm not sure when I'm going to be doing the next one, what mission that will be. I'm thinking Epoch, Part 1, just because that has quite a bit more polish to this. This, again, I just released this mission, so there's those random, no, not random, but those lingering typos I still got to take care of. But in general, yeah, Epoch might be the next one I do. I don't know when I'm going to be getting around to a mission not built by me, but I'll be hopefully doing that sometime. In the not too distant future, we've got Foundry downtime coming in the next couple of weeks, so I'll at least try to get one more of these out there before we get into downtime when the Foundry won't be available. And once we're back, I'll maybe do another one of these, but there might be lingering issues with the new lighting engine with the Foundry. So, yeah, let's just play it by ear. So with that, I'll transfer back to my first tag. So again, I was Duncan Idaho 11. Mission, in-game mission, not mission handle, the player handle, at Gorgonops. I can be found on Twitter at Gorgonops_SSF, or you can just send me a mail in-game if you want to get into contact, recommend missions, give feedback for my missions, anything like that. That is an option. Send me a mail in-game at Gorgonops. So then Gorgonops right there. So again, just thank you for listening. This is my first live stream, and hopefully it went reasonably well. So we'll be continuing this in the not too distant future, and I'll also have to get another shout out to actually just the main Foundry group. So if you're really interested in the Foundry, one of the best things to listen to, not just because I'm on it right now, but just because you got some really great guys on that one, is the podcast, The Foundry Roundtable. So that's hosted by Green Dragoon, Drogan 1701, Mark Hawkman, and me playing along as Hobo. So yeah, I'll be on that one too. But you'll get a lot of insight from the other guys and some miscellaneous ramblings from me about the Foundry, the process, what's going on, what are we working on, how to work on certain things, tutorials. Green Dragoon has a great series for getting into the Foundry called the Foundational Foundry. And we also have guest stars on as well. So if you want more of the Foundry, that is the first place to check out because they've got hundreds of episodes. Most of them, unfortunately, not with me on them, but a few of them with me on there, being, again, the Hobo. But we've got a bunch of that going on every Wednesday, generally speaking. More episodes and all that. But we're also on YouTube, on SoundCloud, and on Twitch. Twitch is the primary stream that we do this sort of thing on. Also, shout-outs to Timberwolf, who does live streams, playthroughs of Foundry missions as well. Yurzel, who does the occasional Foundry mission as well. And Zeronymous Rex, who is one of the producers at Cryptic, who works on Star Trek Online, who will also occasionally do Foundry missions. And she also is really big in supporting this as well inside Cryptic. So again, mad shout-outs to her as well. So with that, I'll go ahead and hit the stop recording button, and hopefully things won't explode. So, with that, again, thank you, and we'll be doing this some other time.